G'day guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Excuse the funny angle again, I'm still holding the phone with my left hand. Welcome to part 35 of the Great Cleanup. We have 18 days to go when you see this, which will be Thursday. I'm filming it Wednesday. There's another video going up today, which you will see first. So there's lots going on still. My right arm's manageable. It gives me a bit of grief. I've just got to understand what I can do with it and what I can't. I have got a specialist appointment in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, just after D-Day anyway. So I can't do anything until then. I've just walked down the back. The last of the container contents is being moved now. I'll show you what we're up to. And the rest of this video, we will have a look through the house and the shop and what we've done there, because Christine and I have been working every night as well. And we've got the shop really nicely organized now, everything discounted, all the shelving has prices. I'm going to start plugging that on the local Facebook groups just to clear all that out. So we're getting very organized, but not much has happened in the yard, and Mother Nature's being a bit of a pain because it's been drizzly rain all day today. But I need to get this container finished first, ring the guy that's going to move it for us, ring the guy that's buying it and let him know that it's ready to go. I think he was getting some gravel down ready for it, so I've got to coordinate all that. And then we need to get rid of some more scrap metal. Sounds like an ambulance going along a freeway. Now with the scrap, a few of you mentioned that surely a local scrappy would buy it or take it. I can't find anyone that's doing scrap locally. I've put a thing on Facebook, no one's responded. And rather than muck around and wait for people, it's actually easier just for me to throw it in here. It's only 5 minutes drive out of the transfer station. So once I finish with the trailer here, I'm going to do a load of the rest of the stuff so that the truck can get down to pick up the container. Everything's just tied in together, and I've just got to pick which one logically to do first. Not much has happened in the rest of the yard, unfortunately, but I'm going to go hell for leather on that once we get the container out. And inside's getting more and more under control. I'll show you that shortly. Let's have a look at what's left in the container. Incidentally, it's not just my arm, it's Christine's hurt her hip, so she's hobbling around. We're like a couple out of Dad's army, elderly and incapacitated, but we still have good humour and we still have belief. So I think we have the two most important things. What's the point in being fit and able if you don't have belief or you don't have good humour? Okay, now, not much to go here. All this loose stuff I'm just going to put in the van next chance I get. Right now I'm about to move that wardrobe. It's probably a 1930s plywood one. I'm not going to try and sell it. I'm going to put it on the local Facebook groups for free, but I'm going to move it around the front of the shop and we'll put a big tag on it for free so someone can just pick it up. The other wardrobe's actually kind of nicer. It's a 1960s sort of a teak veneer Danish style, and in the right retro shop you could probably ask a bit for this, but look, I don't want to hang out trying to sell a wardrobe. It's going to be for free too. Hopefully someone comes and takes it quick smart. So there's only a few more boxes and the racking to go out of here, and then I can call the guy and tell him container's right to go. He was a little concerned about the floor because he couldn't see the floor when he first had a look, but other than a few stains and a couple of gouges to the plywood, but otherwise the floor is great. There's no sign of white ants or anything in it, so all should be good there. So I've just got to go flat out today in the drizzle and move these two wardrobes, load the rest of this stuff maybe in the van, and then I can call the place empty. So I might do these wardrobes now, but I'll show you what we're up to inside next. But here's some footage of me loading the wardrobes, or actually unloading them. I just thought you'd be interested to see how a middle-aged one-armed man with a dodgy hip, in fact I've got one hip replacement and the other one's a bit worn, and there you know my shoulder's reasonably dodgy as well. So you just see how I can get these off. This piano trolley I actually bought off eBay, but it was a guy that made them locally and he did a really good job. They're just nicely balanced. It's on 4 pneumatic tyres, and the pads that the furniture rests on are actually either outside either axle, so it allows you to steer the thing really well. So just by lifting up or pushing down one end, you can turn it on the opposite set of wheels. So I've emptied entire house lots with this trolley. So you can see with a little bit of patience and a little bit of common sense, it's not hard to move big pieces of furniture on your own. This particular one I decided to do on its side. You do have to be careful of doors swinging open when you least expect it. So I just put a blanket on the edge of the trailer here because the back of it is, well, it's actually checker plate and it can scratch the timber. So just by laying it down, I can then slide it back, position the trolley in the right spot, and when I'm happy with that, just slide it along the blanket so it doesn't damage the timber, lower it down onto the trolley that will then flick up underneath it and takes the weight on the back axle, and then there you go, Bob's your uncle. So it's not hard to move these things with a bit of common sense. Before we go inside, here's the last of the stuff out of the container. I don't have time to go through stuff with you. There's some pretty cool things. It's a nice 30s Beehive light shade. There are some average things. I opened one tin box thinking it might contain all sorts of treasures, and it just had jars of nails in it. So not everything's going to be wonderful. There's a lot of crystal. It's a frog out of a depression glass vase. So, and I think a lot of this is priced. So it may have been left over from a garage sale. It may have been stuff from an op shop that they couldn't sell. But look, there's going to be some good stuff amongst it. That pot there's an absolute beauty. It's a really large size, very heavy cast iron pot with a lid. Anyway, I've got to get this home. Have a look at this. We now have an echo chamber, perfectly empty. Very happy to finish that today. That was my mission today. So I'll ring the guy now, tee up the pickup, and that can be out of the yard as soon as possible. All right, I'm just going to dump this home before the rain comes again. We're just having a bit of a break at the moment. So I'll go and take that home, and then we'll come back and have a look inside and see what we've been up to. Okay, so let's go inside and show you that we haven't just been sitting on the couch in the evenings twiddling our thumbs. The lounge area here is pretty much done. I've cleaned it all down, taken down all the shelving. There's only a few tubs of various little scrap metal things that I have to sort. That big pile is just cardboard boxes for recycling, and my bin's full today, so they'll go in next time I can. A lot of wire here, which I'm going to keep saving. That will probably go home in some large wheelie bins for storage until I have enough for a trip. So this area is good. The kitchen's pretty much done, as you've seen before. Just a few things to deal with still, but it's mostly empty. I've started down the hallway and cleaned that up a bit, and now I've got some boxes here ready to move next door. The tech room, as you've seen, was completely done, and now it's sort of a staging area. That pile in the middle is to go home, the pile over under the windows to go next door, and Jess, I think, is coming this afternoon to give me a hand with some more crates. So if I can sort it and have it, earmarked to go certain directions, any help that comes along can basically just move boxes for me. I've started in this room. Remember, this is probably one of the scariest ones to do. I've made a fair bit of space in here. I've got some crates here full of CD-ROM drives from computers, and there's also some hard disk drives. I don't want to just dump them yet. I want to get the magnets out of the hard disk drives. I've also, as taking e-waste, I've also got to ensure people's data is private, and I say to everyone that I will destroy the hard drives. I'll probably do some scrap out videos on those down the track. They're easy enough to store. So it's thinning out in here quite a lot. A lot of the empty cardboard boxes, there's still more on top of that cupboard there. We'll just go for recycling. So I'll bring some spare milk crates in here and we'll stack all this up. That grandmother clock there is to go home. A bit of other stuff, bit of family history stuff. A lot of pictures and things on the wall that I have to deal with, but they don't take up much space. So yeah, we're getting through here. It's still probably the scariest room, but at least I can walk in here now without having to, hire a Sherpa. This set of drawers has to go in the shop. They're pretty much empty. And there's one other beautiful old school cupboard that I like, and that will probably go into the storeroom next door when we get a moment. Let's go and have a look in the shop. Now, I haven't tackled anything down this hallway yet, so it's still looking very cluttered here. This is a counter out of Christine's shop that we've just put $50 on to sell. My counter's already in position next door now. And we've spent the last couple of evenings going around the shop here and completely repricing everything. So I no longer have to have out the front half price off marked prices, because that just wasn't working. I mean, even when you tell people they'd still come in and they'd see a price on something and they'd say, oh, that's $10. And they forget to calculate in their head that it's now $5. So what we've done is we've repriced everything. I've also priced all my shelving. So, I'm making it really clear how much things are. $20 for this huge big pine cabinet. And on it, everything is $5 each. And we've marked the tickets accordingly. And this one, much the same. I've got 60 on these shelves, and everything on it is $2 each, and they're all marked accordingly. So this glass and steel stand's now only $20, and everything on it's $2 each. So we wanted to get the shop completely organised so that when people run my shop, there's no calculations, there's no decisions, there's no haggling. It's just purely, look, it's $2, buy it. So this shelf here, the shelf unit's now $20, and everything on it is $10. So that's a bit better stuff. And as we get down towards the last day, whatever's left there will either be cheaper or we'll move it next door. Most of the stuff that's $2 each will just go onto the free trolley or a trestle we've got out the front for free. So it's thinned out a lot. Now, some of you may have spotted this cedar chiffonier that I had sold in a previous video. Yes, I had, and this is another one. This one was in Christine's shop next door. So it's now $350. And lo and behold, around this side, there is yet another cedar chiffonier. They're beautiful old pieces, and this one's $400. It's got the shelf. If we can't sell these, they're pretty much half price. If we can't sell these, we will make room next door somehow. But all the rest of this shelving I expect to sell pretty quickly. $20 there for nice timber shelving. $10 for that. The speakers are now $5. Everything on this shelf is $5 each. So we've been around the entire shop, and also all the prints and pictures on the wall. If I can pan up a little bit. Some of them are better than half price. In fact, that original watercolour was $95. Now it's $20. So that print was $45 down to $10. Even the light fittings, they're all discounted. But we will move some of those next door if we have to. We're going to have those big ladders to hang them off. So I've spent a bit of time in the shop, and I'm pretty happy with how it's all organised. Everything in the front is $2 each. Super bargains. And we'll just have a quick look outside before we finish up here. Oh, also the shed room, much the same. We've done a trestle table. I think one side's $2, the other's $5. Everything's been marked down, and still a little bit more I have to do in there. It looks a little bit messy, but it's certainly thinning out. There's not much left in there. And outside, well, the trolley I've left out here all the time. And fortunately, no one's taken the trolley. And that's just free stuff, and it has been disappearing very quickly. And also we've left this trestle table out the front, all free except the table, and that's been thinning out very quickly, and we just keep adding things to it. Now the wardrobes you saw me get out of the container earlier, one's already gone. There's only one left there, so that's great news. And just to wrap this video up, another left-handed selfie hold. Look at the yard, look at the lane. I finally got a local scrap guy to come and pick up a load. He did it just this morning, and he's going to come back for another load next week. So pretty happy to get rid of all that stuff. Let's wander down while I'm talking. It's good that he can make a few dollars out of it. He's happy to help me out. I actually said to him that there's going to be some pretty good stuff around the yard that is probably a bit good for scrap, but if you can help me out with all this stuff, I'll give you a few extra bits. He was happy with that. He's got a yard just in town, and he's got a mate apparently that's a scrap dealer, and I don't know what their arrangement is, but he's happy to take it all, which is awesome. Saves me taking it out to the transfer station. Look at that, fantastic. The pallet halves I'll probably just give to my firewood guy. So I'm really pleased that makes things a lot easier, that I can just pile anything metal up there that I don't want and don't have time to deal with. And this guy will happily come and take it at the drop of a hat. The container, I'm looking at it now, is still here, but it's supposed to be going tomorrow. Hopefully I've got to ring the guy again. So we're getting there. So this ends this episode, part 35, with 17 days to go as I speak now, and I'll put this up tonight. So it's Thursday now. I'll try and get this video up tonight. 17 days to go. I'm starting to think we won't quite get there, just because I'm still very limited, and I'm seeing things that I've kind of just ignored, and I can't ignore anything now. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm still hoping we can. I'm still going to try as if we can. We'll see how we go. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Bye for now.